Is there a project that you remember that whenever I mention like project and stress, that kind of like pops out to you, and it's like, oh God, that river bridge project that we did 7 years ago, oh, and everyone in the office kind of like, is there a project like that you could share that was like, oh man?
The old man projects for sure. Like the biggest sort of tight timeline project we ever did was probably the Terminal 1 at the airport, but it led to 20 years of confidence in the marketplace. So at that time, that job was probably beyond what our company's capabilities actually were. But
you didn't say no.
We didn't say no. We pulled it off, and it at the end of the day was tremendous success, not only for us but for them as well. Like we definitely did a good job there for them, and here we are 20 years later, and we're taking out a runway at the airport. So we're still working there, is my point. And when you fly to all the airports in the world, it seems like there's always a little work going on there.
Yeah.
And it seems to probably be the same people time and time again, because there's a comfort level that everyone understands what's actually happening. So it's been good that way for us. But there's been some unique projects also. But that building at the airport that we took down, it was a monster. It was just a big building. And, some of the equipment we had at the time was not big enough, and we bought some bigger equipment, and, we had to do it quickly to get it there on time to make it happen. But we actually fell that building. So we do these controlled drops where we cut these big columns. And I mean, the steel was 3-4 inches thick on the columns.
Wow.
So, you're cutting holes in these columns and hooking these shackles. It's like, 35-ton shackles. Like you had to have your breakfast in the morning just to pick the shackle up, let alone hook the cable on, right? So, and we do this job, and we worked every Saturday. We worked 12-hour days. Like we worked like 8 months straight like that. And it just,
wow.
It really did. It was a big undertaking. And my son, who's 17 now, he was born on November the 1st, which was a Monday. And we did the last one on November the 5th, the last pull. So we had the last 16 columns, and we cut them all, and we had it all hooked up. And then we had a big barbecue, and we invited everyone out, and we pulled the 4 columns out, and the thing didn't fall over. And I was like, oh boy, this is, and then of course, everyone starts,
moment.
Yeah. It's like, now what, right? Everyone becomes like the sidewalk superintendent. Well, what you should do is,
yeah.
Well, let me tell you, and all the
Love
above,
those.
right? So anyway, we ended up using the big high reach that we bought that summer, and we used it. We pushed it, and it all came down as planned. So it just wasn't one of our engineering marvels, but it wasn't one of our not engineering marvels either.
Yeah.
So we pulled it off at the end, and it was great. And then it was we cleaned it all up. But that job to be done, that job on time with the amount of equipment we had at that time was pretty remarkable. And it was just the teamwork that happened, and the commitment from everyone, and actually a lot of people from within our organization grow as well.